Hi, my name is Tina, and this episode is almost entirely about the Zombie Knitpocalypse Retreat that I just returned home from. I do take a bit of time at the beginning to share with you my works in progress since I left that out of the last podcast. But as you can see, it is another long episode. I saved my enabling for the end of the podcast, so if you're not interested in seeing what I bought, you can stop at that point. Although, at the very end of the show, just before the credits, I do include the video of the market lineup and a short bit of video from the market floor. So if you're interested in seeing that, you should stay tuned, or at the very least, fast forward to that part. The enabling starts at 45 minutes, and the market video starts at 1 hour 13 minutes. I hope I am able to convey just how much fun I had at this retreat. Check out the credits at the end of the show to find out how you can get in touch with me. I really enjoy hearing from each and every one of you, so don't hesitate to contact me if you have a question or comment. Hi and welcome. Thanks so much for joining me today. As you can tell, I am a little hoarse, and it is not because I am sick. It is because I have just returned from Zombie Knitpocalypse. Today is Tuesday the 24th. You will not see this episode until Saturday. I think it's the 28th. But I wanted to record early because I wanted to give my recap of the retreat while it was still all fresh in my mind. So I actually took an extra day off work. I got back home yesterday, Monday, and I took an extra day. I had already scheduled in my vacation plans because I knew I was going to be exhausted from the retreat. There was lots of fun going on there, but I'm going to save all the retreat stuff for the end of the show because I know there probably are people that don't really care about the retreat information, the recap and whatnot. So I'm going to save all of that information for the end of the show. I was going to do some drawings today, but because this is mostly going to be about the retreat, I'm going to save those drawings until next time that I record. I did mention on the last time that I recorded that I was going to create a huge prize pack that I'm going to give away on the podcast, kind of like an anniversary or podiversary giveaway. I do have that kind of mostly together. There's probably going to be a few more things added, but I haven't really put all that together, so I will show that on the next podcast as well. And all the other drawings, again, will be on the next podcast, so I can just focus primarily on the zombie retreat for this episode. Now, before I get into the retreat recap, I'm going to go through my whips, because a couple weeks ago, I chatted on for quite a long time and I did not have time to show you my whips. So I'm going to give you a brief update on where I am with my whips, and then we will get on to all the excitement and fun that I had at the Zombie Knitpocalypse. First up is my Nantucket Red, and I have finished the back. In fact, I finished the back before I left for the retreat. Trying to think. I think the last time I showed it to you I was here. This stitch marker up here is where I was when I started the armholes. So I left that in there so I can count for the front. But the back is done. I love it. I have started the right front, and that is coming along. I did take this to Zombie Knitpocalypse, but did not work on it at all. I didn't even pull it out of the bag. I had hoped that it would be one of my simple projects to work on, but because I barely got into the pattern, the lace part was pretty easy because it was similar to the back, but there's something different that they do with the stitches at the beginning of the row and end of the row, and to me it seems like it's not the same. It's not what I normally would do for the beginning and end of the row, so I didn't want to start working on it and then get it all screwed up because I really like how the edge looks. So it went with me on a trip to Minnesota, but it did not get worked on. And I was going to block the back before I left, but that did not happen either. So I have my back ready. I probably will get that blocked this week, hopefully, and I'll just keep working on it. The next whip I'm going to show you is the Through the Lips Mystery Shawl. And I don't think that anybody's going to have any issue with being spoiled because I have barely started the third chart. This project also went with me to Zombie Knitpocalypse. However, I only worked on it one evening for about a half hour or so. When I was working on this project, I had to use my iPad, which meant that I would have to be stationary, and I was trying to move around quite a bit during the retreat, so it really wasn't a great project for me to take during the retreat. I did get about, I don't know, I think 4 or 5 rows done during one of the prize giveaway sessions in the evening before dinner, because I knew I was going to be sitting still and I wasn't going to be moving around at that time. But here it is. Obviously, lace does not look very pretty when it has not been blocked, but it is what it is. It's coming along. I had hoped to have the third clue finished before the fourth clue came out on Sunday. Yeah, that didn't happen. So I will continue working on it. I'm hoping again to have, I don't know if the fourth clue is the final clue. I haven't even looked at the fourth clue yet. But I am hoping to get more progress on this week. But because I've been off work for, what, 5 days now, I would imagine that work is going to be pretty busy for me this week. So there's probably not going to be much knitting going on at work this week. The next project are my basic socks, two-tone, and you may have seen on Instagram before the retreat that I had 2 nearly completed socks. Okay, can I have that? Thank you. I had 2 nearly completed socks. Well, now I have 1 completed, just need the Kitchener, and the other sock started. And it was because my second sock, or maybe it was my first sock, I'm not sure which it was, one of the socks, I think it was the second sock I started, one of the socks did not have enough stitches. It had 64 stitches instead of 68 stitches. So I ripped the entire sock out. It was not something that I really wanted to do, but these are a gift and I wanted to have the socks fit. And Steve tried them on. They're not for Steve, but Steve tried them on and did say that the one with 64 stitches was a little tighter than the other one. He said it wasn't uncomfortable, but it was a little tighter. And the recipient of these socks has a slightly wider foot than Steve does. So I thought, you know what? Let's make this right and just knit it again. I mean, it's just more knitting time. How could you go wrong with that? So as you can see, I have a two-tone sock here. And that is because I thought that I would not have enough yarn to do a sock in one solid color. So I added the toes, heels, and cuffs in an alternating color. But as it turns out, I'm pretty sure that I would have enough after, this is how much I had left after I knit a whole sock, because the other part that I ripped out of the sock is over in my workstation over there waiting to be washed and re-skeined. But I had quite a bit left over, and I think I could knit a whole nother sock with the heel and toe other yarn here. So I think I would have had enough to do it. I think I will make the next pair with the oatmeal as the main color and the blue as the heel and toe, so I can have two socks with these, and then I have another skein that is black, just black, and I'll make that sock all by itself. So it's coming along. I had forgotten that this yarn was 150 grams, and that's why I didn't think I was going to have enough, because there's some big feet. Big feet. So they are coming along. I have restarted the second sock. It'll take me a while to do, obviously, but I'm sure it will go pretty quickly in the end. And I didn't even break into the second. This is the second half. Because what I did when I originally started it, I had made this oatmeal color 2 separate balls, thinking I was going to make a pair just in this color. So I separated it out, and then after I knit a few inches on the sock, I didn't think I was going to have enough. I waited, and it seemed kind of light, so instead of taking a risk and possibly not being able to finish up the toe, I decided to just do it two-tone, which I like. I like the two-tone, so it works out fine. So that is my third project for today. And the last project for today that I'm going to show you is the project that I worked on primarily at the retreat, because it was easy. I didn't have to think about it. I could carry it around with me easily, and it is socks. And this yarn was gifted to me by someone very special a few years ago, actually. And I just decided that I was going to start knitting it. And it is awesome. It is definitely my colors. I love it. I started both of these socks at the retreat. I have 2. Almost. This one's almost done. Both of these socks were started at the retreat. I want to say the first one was started on Thursday, maybe Thursday. Maybe it was Friday. I don't really even remember. But one of them was started Thursday. And then the second one was started the next day. And I knit pretty much from here to here on the first leg driving home. So I got quite a bit done. And that's from the heel to the... no, I'm sorry. Was that right? I don't know. Yeah, it must have been. I was pretty much, I don't know. I don't remember how far it was, but it was pretty far along. Then this much I knit. I think that's correct, the first leg coming home. And then the second leg, I knit from here to here, but that was only about 2 hours. So this was the first leg. It was 5 hours. I got to the ribbing, and I finished up the ribbing when we were in the hotel on Sunday night. And then Sunday morning, I just started the heel on this sock and was just about finished with the heel when we got into the car and knit on it on the second leg home, or second leg of the journey. And the third leg of the journey I had to drive myself, so didn't get any knitting done on that leg. But this yarn is Dragonfly Fibers, and the colorway is Watermelon Head. And I absolutely love it. I love the texture of the yarn, the squishiness of the yarn. Obviously, I love the color of the yarn. It's fabulous. And more than likely, if I have any bouncing on my ball time this week, I will have this sock finished before the end of the week. And this is actually working out perfectly, because this is how much I have left. It's probably 10 grams in this sock, because I split my balls. I always split my balls. So I'll probably have 20 grams total left when I'm done with both socks. So there you go. I did want to mention, by the time you see this, we will have already had our VKN on Saturday or Friday, June 27th, but the next VKN after this VKN is going to be Saturday, July 12th from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you would like to join us on that VKN on Saturday, July 12th from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., I would love to see you there. And I do want to remind you that we can only have 10 people in the hangout room at a time. So if you happen to check in on the group and you can't get into the thread or get into the hangout for whatever reason, I don't know if there's a message that comes up and says there's already too many people in the room or what exactly. But please check back again and again, because people come and go all the time, so you might be able to slip into a spot that becomes available. And I look forward to chatting with you on VKN. So now let's talk about the Zombie Knitpocalypse. I had an absolutely amazing time at this retreat. I have to say that it's probably going to be one of my most favorite retreats, other than Knitopia, that I will ever attend. And although I probably won't be able to go back next year, I am already planning for 2016. And I will be attending Zombie Knitpocalypse 2016. Fingers crossed. As long as I get in and as long as nothing major happens in my life that prevents me from going. I did want to talk a little bit before I really get into all of the stuff that I did at the retreat. I want to kind of talk a little bit about how a retreat differs from, say, a wool festival. A wool festival that you go to, such as Rhinebeck or Maryland Sheep and Wool or Stitches or what have you, those kind of events are fun, obviously. And there's shopping and you get to see people from all over the country and sometimes the world. And you get to meet new people. But what's different about a retreat versus a festival or just a convention like Stitches is that you can actually sit down and talk to the people. From the retreats or from the festivals that I've been to, I've met a lot of people. You know, since I've been doing the podcast, people know who I am and come up to me at the festivals and say hello. But I really have not gotten to really chat with any of those people for more than maybe 5 minutes or so. And really, you can't really get an impression of a person in that short of a time. So what I like about a retreat, a knitting retreat, is that you get to see the same people over and over and over again over a 3 or 4 day period. And maybe you sit down with them one day and you chat with them for a few minutes, and then the next day you chat with them for a few minutes, or maybe you join them for a meal. It is just the most amazing thing ever. I mean, I met so many amazing people at this retreat. Not that I haven't met amazing people at other retreats, but there was so many people. I think there was something like 100, the final count was like 157, and this was the largest retreat that I have ever been to. The other retreats that I go to, Knitopia, we have about 50 people, but it's spanned over a 12-day event. I've been to Knit in the Mitten, and there's, you know, anywhere from 50 to 60 to 70 people, but this retreat was a lot larger, this Zombie Knitpocalypse. And I just had such a wonderful time chatting with everybody. Now, there were people that I chatted with shortly and then looked for later, and they were busy with classes and whatnot. So I didn't get I didn't get to spend as much time with everybody as I wanted to. And I did try to move around quite a bit, going from table to table. I met new friends. I made new friends. I chatted with people who have watched the podcast since the beginning. It was, I mean, I have goosebumps right now thinking about all the people that I was able to hang out with this past weekend. It was just absolutely amazing. Everyone kept telling me how much they appreciated my podcast, and it just made me feel so good that everybody out there is watching and enjoying, and it brings joy to my heart to know that everybody out there is enjoying the podcast as much as I am enjoying sharing my knowledge and my life with you guys. So, like I said, everyone just told me how much they appreciate me. Well, I want to tell you guys how much I appreciate you as well. And I hope more people will become more active in the group. I mean, the people that I spoke to at the retreat, a lot of them are are already active in the group. So when I met them in person and to be able to put a face to the name of the people that I've been chatting with, either through PMs or just chatter in the group, was amazing. And again, going to dinner and sharing meals with people and being able to sit down for a good hour with people and just chatting, it was fabulous. I would never not go to a knitting retreat. If you have never been to any knitting retreat, whatever knitting retreat you can get to, I highly, highly recommend it. Even if you are a shy person, put yourself out there and meet new friends and have fun with it. It is just an amazing, amazing experience that I would never want to go without. Since I have been home, I'll get to the fun in a minute. Since I have been home, I've been going through my pictures. I've been going through the pictures on Instagram and trying to label everyone so that I can remember who is who. Because, you know what, I met so many people. I started going through the attendee list and as to who I met and who I chatted with and whatnot. And it was almost better for me to go through and mark off the people that I didn't talk to, because I talked to over 50%. I talked to probably close to 75% of the people that were at the retreat. And some people I didn't get their Ravelry names. Some people we just chatted briefly, passing in the hall, or just sat down for a few minutes at their table or in a circle out in the lobby area outside where the main meeting room was. But I had such a blast. But I wanted to be able to remember who was who. And while it's still fresh in my mind, I want to remember their real name, their Ravelry name, put their face to the Ravelry name, so that when I meet up with them again at a future retreat, I will be able to remember who those people are. So now I will try and give you a brief recap of what my weekend entailed. So my adventure started on Wednesday morning. I left my house around 6:30 and I drove to North Liberty, Indiana, where I picked up Julie, who is Julie R. Knits. I picked her up. Well, actually, I dropped my car off and we took her car. But we joined up in North Liberty, Indiana to continue our trip. And then we went to Chicago, the Chicago area. And we picked up Angel Mom 3, who is Sandy. And we continued our adventure to Rochester. And we arrived in Rochester around 6 p.m. on Wednesday. And they were having registration on Wednesday, I think between 4:30 and 6:30. So we wanted to get up to registration quickly so that we could get registered and be ready to start the day on Thursday. So we parked the car, just quickly ran up the stairs and left the car, left everything in the car. We just wanted to get registered. So we ran up there and we got registered. We got a fabulous goodie bag, which I'm not going to go through everything because I'm sure there was I don't even know how many podcasters there were there, but I'm sure that someone else is going to go through the goodie bag on the podcast. So I'm not going to go through the whole goodie bag, but let me tell you, it was amazing. Lots of great samples and coupons and little things in the goodie bag. Just amazing. It amazes me how generous the vendors and sponsors are for these knitting retreats. So we got our goodie bags, and then we kind of had to get back to the car and get it unloaded because we were in a 15-minute parking zone. So we went back to the car and we unloaded the bags. We decided just to get a cart or a bellhop or whatever because we packed way too much stuff. When we were going to be going in my car, we were going to really pack very light, and there was going to be no extra stuff because my car just is not big enough. and we would not have been able to get everything in that car, in my car, as we did in Julie's car. But because we decided to take Julie's car, we're like adding things onto the list, which in the end we didn't really use all that much, so we took a lot of stuff that didn't get used, so it was kind of pointless. But we got everything up to the room, didn't really unpack too much, just kind of dropped everything and went back to the main ballroom and kind of hung out there for a good part of the evening, while, you know, everybody arrived. There was no more registrations at that point. They had only had registration for 2 hours that evening, but there were still new people that were arriving all evening long and coming into the room and sitting down and chatting. And then on Thursday was the actual main registration, and there was even more and more and more people arriving. And Thursday there was also some classes. Thursday, they had classes on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I took some amazing classes. I took a class from Josh, who is sort of a knitter. And I kind of hope that Josh does not get mad at me for calling him out, but he is absolutely brilliant. I took his class and I'm thinking, okay, I kind of know a little bit about shawl design and the architecture and whatnot, but he is absolutely brilliant. He blows me away, actually. And I just can't imagine having his kind of mind, that just one of the people in the class asked a question that they wanted to design a shawl in a specific shape, and he just kind of rattled off how to do it. And then she had another question about, okay, I have this shape of a shawl, but it's only this big, and is there a way that I can extend it, make it bigger without making it longer, kind of like the hitchhiker type of shape. And he just was like, oh, you could do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it was just absolutely amazing. He has some amazing designs that he has already designed, and I would suspect that he's got a load of other designs that are rolling around in his head that will be coming out at some point in the future. If you have not knit any of his patterns, I highly recommend checking out his Ravelry shop, and that's sort of a knitter. I'm assuming that that's what his Ravelry shop is, but if it's not, you can find him on Ravelry. His Ravelry ID is sort of a knitter, and you can find him on Ravelry and then go check out his design page, because really, I think that he is going to be the next big thing. So get on the bandwagon now, because you'll miss out if you don't. The next class that I took was a class from Sally from Idaho. And if you are in any of the knit-alongs, you know that Sally knits a lot. And she did a fabulous class on tips and tricks. And when you knit as much as Sally does, you have learned a lot of tips and tricks from just knitting. The more you knit, the more you find new ways to make things simpler or easier or better to understand. So she did an amazing class on all kinds of different things that she has just learned over the years, that she has modified, that she has, you know, come up with a simpler way to do things. And it was an amazing class as well. And then I took a class from Jenna, who is Retro Lemon. She taught a toy assembly class. Now, if you've been watching the podcast for a while, you may remember before Knitopia, I was crocheting a toy. And honestly, I think it was a complete fail. It turned out fine in the end, but I was not completely happy with it. So it kind of discouraged me from knitting toys or crocheting toys or what have you. But Jenna taught a really great class. It was actually on Tuesday before I left that I decided that I was going to be a good student and do my homework. Because before Tuesday, I was like, well, I'll just watch. And just get the tips. Well, Tuesday I decided, no, I'm going to go ahead and do my homework and be ready for it. So I started my homework on Tuesday. I worked on it a little bit on Wednesday and finished it up on Thursday before the class. I think the class was on Friday. Yeah, I think the class was on Friday. I still had a little bit more to do, I think, Friday morning, but I was able to get it done. But I took my pieces to class with me, and then I realized that I didn't have eyes. So I didn't actually complete my, my project in the class, but I watched the demonstration. She showed how she does certain things, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's like when Sally knits a lot, she has lots of tips. Well, Jenna makes lots of toys. So she has learned different things that make toy assembly easier. Well, since I have been home, I finished my orbit. And this is probably the first knit toy that I'm actually happy with the outcome. Jenna explained how she goes about adding the eyes, how she does that, and how she figures out where she's going to place the arms and the legs, and if they have antennas or what have you. And I don't know why I never thought about the things that she says that she does, but it has made my idea of knitting toys so much more exciting. I will definitely be knitting more toys in the future. Again, we're going to be doing another toy cow for Knitopia 2015. So if I start now, I might have 4 or 5 toys to donate next year, whereas last year I did the crochet toy, which I probably will not be crocheting toys anymore. But this toy and the way Jenna writes her patterns and whatnot is amazing, and I will definitely be doing more of her toys. But this is my orbit, and he is so cute, and I am just really proud of the finished product, you know. And I'm glad that I decided to go ahead and do my homework and have it ready, because even a couple days later when I finished this up this morning, I was really like, what did she say about this part, and what did she say about this part? So I was almost kind of forgetting what she had talked about in the class. But orbit's done, and he's gorgeous, and I love it. Actually, it should be a she because she's pink. But amazing classes. I only took 3 classes. I want to say that there was more than a dozen classes, so I can't speak on the other classes, but if they were anything like the classes that I took, they had to be amazing, because like I said, and these were all people that just volunteered to teach the class. They were not paid instructors. They were just people that were attending the retreat that volunteered. I know this, and I would be happy to teach a class on this particular topic. So needless to say, the retreat was amazing. Amy and Megan did an absolutely fabulous job. Now, there was also a yarn crawl, which I did not participate in because I figured there was going to be a market, and I already didn't need more yarn. So I didn't go on the yarn crawl. They went to, I think it was three different stores in the local area, and they rented a huge bus, one of those kind of coach buses that have a bathroom and whatnot. And they left, I don't know, around lunchtime, and were gone for most of the afternoon. And the other thing that I did not participate in was the 5K. And I probably should have participated in the 5K, but I was pretty good about getting up and working out. I did get up and work out Thursday and Friday morning. And by Thursday and Friday morning I got up. And by Saturday morning, that's when I started getting hoarse and losing my voice. And so I decided that because I was losing my voice, it was already my body telling me that I was pushing myself a little bit too hard. Not really physically, but you know, my voice, and I just thought, you know what, my body overall kind of needs a break. And because on Friday I still got, I think I got over 17,000 steps on Friday. So I figured, and that was walking in the morning. I think I had about 7,000 in the morning. So I figured I would still get my 10,000 steps even if I didn't work out. So I didn't work out Saturday or Sunday morning, but I could have participated in the 5K, but it was like at 9 o'clock, and I wanted to get breakfast and whatnot, so I didn't do that. But that was fun. I don't know how many people participated in that, but there was a number of people that participated in that as well. There was also, they did a group photo, which I'm sure is floating around somewhere on the internet by now. There was a kind of a group dance walkthrough that I participated in, and I think that's probably floating around on the internet now. Let's see what else. They had so many things planned. The vendor sponsorship that they got was amazing. Everyone got a door prize, and a few people got an extra door prize. They had prizes for different things. They did a drawing for hats. There was a donation. Java Jenny was collecting hats, and I can't remember the exact count of hats that were collected, but it was well over 200, very close to 300 hats that were collected. And one person did like 52 hats. She's amazing. And let's see what else. There were a lot of things that were planned. There was a photo booth that people were able to get in and get pictures. I think it was Friday and Saturday night. Just a lot of little things that just made the retreat fabulous. If you have the opportunity to attend Zombie Knitpocalypse, I highly recommend it. I would imagine that it's just going to continue to get better each year, because that's typically what happens at Knitopia. Every year we expand on what we've done in the past. So I'm assuming that that's what Amy and Megan are going to do in the future. It was an amazing retreat. Now, one thing I did find out, and I'm pretty sure that this is confirmed. Hi. What is it? Can you sit down right there? I'm pretty sure that this is confirmed. If you follow me on Instagram, the Saturday before I left, I had a bit of a scary situation after dinner. Steve and I and the family had gone out to dinner on Saturday evening, and about 10 minutes after we had finished eating, we were just kind of sitting and chatting while we were digesting a bit, and all of a sudden I had a drop in blood pressure. I got really white. I could hardly hear. It was very muted, and it was a very scary situation. I had never felt anything like that before, and honestly, I do not want to ever feel like that again. I was almost thinking that I was going to have to go to the hospital, but after I got up and moved around a bit, I felt a little bit better, and then I kind of just took it easy for the rest of the evening. Well, I had posted on Instagram, and a couple people said that it might be a shellfish allergy, and I had shrimp that evening. I have never been allergic to shrimp before in my life, so I'm thinking, well, I guess it's a possibility, but I've eaten shrimp all my life. I've never had any issue whatsoever. They all said, well, it's something that could come on suddenly. And I'm like, okay, well, I wasn't sure if that's what it was, but this weekend I had decided that I was not going to have any shrimp just in case. Well, I went out to lunch one day and had French fries, and I did not even think. But after lunch, I had another minor episode similar to what happened on Saturday evening. It was not as bad as what happened on Saturday evening, and I keep thinking, what could it have been? What could it have been? I'm trying to think back, what did I eat? What did I eat? You know, and this, again, it was probably 15 or 20 minutes after I finished eating. And I'm like, I didn't eat any shrimp. I didn't eat anything that could possibly have had shellfish in it. And then I thought about the French fries. The restaurant also serves fried shrimp. And I did call them today and confirm that yes, they do fry their shrimp and their French fries in the same grease. So it is very possible that I have developed a shellfish allergy. I am going to be calling my doctor to find out if I can get an allergy test just to confirm it. But in the meantime, I am going to be very careful with what I eat. In fact, when we stopped for lunch on the way home, I almost got some cheese sticks, and my travel friend Julie, she said, wait a minute, they make shrimp here too. Do you think it's fried in the same grease? Well, we asked the waitress, she checked, she said they can't really, you know, confirm that it's going to be free from, you know, shrimp contamination. So needless to say, no fried cheese for me, mozzarella sticks. So I'm just going to have to be more mindful of what I eat and places that also serve shellfish in the future, which really, really sucks because I really enjoy that. But I am going to see if I can get an allergy test from my doctor and find out exactly what it is that I'm allergic to, if in fact that is what has happened here. So that's pretty much what happened on Friday or Thursday and Friday. I attended classes. There was lots of time to sit around and chit-chat with everybody. Like I said, I tried to bounce from table to table a little bit and chat with new people and chat with people that I have talked to online but, you know, don't really know personally. Saturday was the market, and oh my gosh, the market was amazing. The market started at 10 o'clock, and on Thursday and Friday people were talking about, oh, are you going to get lined up for the market? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to line up for the market because I really have no intention of buying too much. And I figured if it's still in the booth when I get there, then it must be meant to be. So I did not get in line for the market, but what I did do is I did record the line. I did a short recording of the people standing in line, or at first sitting in line, and then I recorded as everybody came into the market. And that was a lot of fun because that also gave me an opportunity to remember, oh yeah, I met her, I talked to her, and you know, so that was kind of fun. So I'm going to go through on my copy of the recording of the line going into the market and make sure I put tags as to who's who so that I can look back at it and remember that as well. So that was amazing. The market was absolutely incredible. Every single vendor had a lot of stock, and there was more than enough for everyone to get what they wanted, which was fabulous because with such a small event, you think, oh, well, everybody's not going to bring that much because there's not that many people and they're going to sell out and whatnot. But I shopped in the morning and got quite a few things. And then we went off to lunch. They had like I think it was like an hour window between the morning market and the afternoon market that was also open to the public. And so we went off to lunch, and we finished up lunch just about the time that the market was reopening. And I went back and shopped some more. And you don't want to see what I bought, right? No? Yeah, I know you do. So I'm going to show you what I bought. I was a little crazy, and I'm hoping that Cody is going to let me show you because he's now, yeah, I know, he's now sitting on my lap. So I was a little crazy with the market purchases. I had no intention of buying yarn, but then I got in there after I did my little recording, which I will include in this episode so you can see the madness that ensued at the market. But I got in there and colors were just popping and calling my name. And I think I've mentioned before that I started a new design, and I was originally going to just dye up my own yarn for it, but then I found the perfect yarn, so I bought that. And then I wanted to make additional, I showed you the little big shrug that I had finished last episode, and I really want to knit more shrugs like that, so I bought yarn for that. I don't have a lot of lace weight yarn, so I bought a few different lace weight yarns. So I'll show you what I got without further ado. And it's in no particular order, it's just all in this bag. So I've already taken pictures of everything so that I can put it in my cabinets later today, if I can fit it in my cabinets. That might be interesting. Anyway, so this is from Dramatic, I know, but you're going to have to sit still. This is from Dramatic Knits. This is his Show Stealer base, and this is the Poseidon colorway. This is the Show Stealer is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So squishy soft. Most of this stuff, I don't have any clue what I'm going to make with it, but we all know that you can make a pair of socks with one skein of fingering, or you can make a shawl. I just bought most things just because I like them. Now, this typically isn't my general color, but my thought was I have lots of ideas in my head for designing, and sometimes people buy patterns because they like the color that it's knit in. So I thought I better start investing in some yarn that is more a general colorway kind of thing. You know, more people like it. Not everybody likes the hot pink like I do, or the green, so I wanted to get something a little bit more general. So that's the first skein. The next one, which is also Leading Men Fiber Arts, is this skein. This is his soliloquy, and of course it's green. It's the Sour Apple colorway. It is 657 yards and 150 grams. It's superwash British BFL. And I bought this skein, and I'm hoping it's going to focus. I'm a little further away from the camera today than I normally am. But I bought this skein because Jenna Retro Lemon came out with a new pattern this weekend that uses this yarn. And obviously this is my color. So I'm thinking about knitting Jenna's shawl in this whenever I get to it. Whenever that might be. The next skein, which is again Leading Men Fiber Arts, is this one. This is the Showcase base, which is 490 yards superwash merino, and it's the Jazzercise leggings. And who could go wrong with pink and green with a splash of purple? You can't. So that is most definitely going to be socks. It's a little crazy for a shawl, but it would make me so happy to be wearing socks with this colorway. Let's see. The next one is also Leading Men Fiber Arts. I think I have all, I think I have all his on the top here. So I'll try and get through those first. Leading Men Fiber Arts. This is the Showstopper base in Aquarius. It's 463 yards superwash merino and nylon. 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And that color that's on the camera is not as turquoisey blue. It's a very turquoisey blue. What I'm finding though is that the little screen that I'm seeing it on as I'm recording is not accurate, but when I get to the actual video, it's pretty accurate. So you probably are seeing an accurate colorway. Here is another one from Leading Men Fiber Arts. And again, not my typical colorway, it's grays and browns. It's the colorway Ain't My First Rodeo. It's his showstopper base, and it's 463 yards. And although these aren't really my colors, I still think that it would make a fabulous shawl, because I think I've mentioned before that I'm trying to do a few more neutrals in my wardrobe, because how many pink and green shawls and sweaters can one have? So very, very neutral in those grays and browns. And what I like about it, and I'm hoping that it's going to focus, there we go, is it kind of, the color kind of breaks up, and it's really got some nice texture to it. I really like it. Okay, I think that's all the Leading Man Fiber Arts, but there may be more on the bottom. So let's go on to Sun Valley Fibers. And again, I have the green. This is her Cricket colorway in 80-10-10 merino cashmere nylon. And I bought this for another shrug type thing. I'm sure it's not going to be the same stitch pattern, but a similar shrug, because I really enjoyed that little big shrug and how it turned out. So that's what this is going to be for, because I do need 2 skeins for a project like that. Next up is Solar Flare Fibers. This is her 75-25-5 merino nylon stellina. It's 438 yards per skein, and it's pink. I love it. And Fiona came from Australia to attend the Zombie Knitpocalypse. So amazing, amazing color. I love it. And is it going to focus? Amazing color. And it's got sparkle. Oh, do you like the sparkle? You look at my shirt. You've got hair all over me. Next up is Marigold Jen, and this is sock weight yarn, 75% merino, 25% nylon, 5% stellina, 438 yards, and this is the Cupcake Shop colorway. And I think I have something similar to this from another crafty girl, but one can't have too much yarn. I can't see it up there right now, but I think I have something very similar from her in a similar colorway. Another one that I got from Marigold Jen, and let me tell you that most of the yarn that I bought were from vendors that I had never bought from. I had never bought from Sun Valley before. I had never bought from, I don't think I have ever bought from Fiona before, from Solar Flare Fibers. And I had never bought from Marigold Jen. And there's more in here that I have never bought from, so I'll get to those when I get there. But that is one of the reasons why I ended up spending so much, because there was vendors that I had never purchased from before. And another reason was because most of these vendors that I had never purchased from before, I got to meet in person and hang out with them at the retreat. And so I always wanted to, support the indie dyers, but by getting to know them and, being a part of their lives, maybe want to support them even more. So that's another reason why knitting retreats are fabulous, because you can hang out with the dyers and get to know them. So that's kind of why I went overboard a little bit, because I might not have known these people personally before the retreat, but then hanging out with them and chatting with them at the retreat, I got to know them a little bit, and then I wanted to support them even more. So the next one, like I said, was Marigold Jen. This is also sock weight. This is 80% BFL, 20% nylon, and it's the colorway The Blues. And again, not my typical colorway, and the purples are not showing up on the camera, but I'm guessing that the final video will show that. Awesome yarn. The next one is another one I have never purchased from before. It's 716X Knits. I think they just call it 716 Knits. This is 716 sock, and it is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards, and in its El Convertible colorway. Here we go. And how can that not be my colors? That is like the perfect thing. And it is self-striping, so that'll be a fun pair of socks to knit up. Let's see, the next one is Fiber Knit, which I have purchased from before, but I saw this colorway, and it's lace because, like I said, I don't have much lace in my stash, so I wanted to pick up some lace this time. It's her Elegance base, and it's the colorway North Sea. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% silk, and it's 875 yards of lace weight. And it's kind of like a teal colorway. This is taking awfully long to focus. I'm wondering if I do a zoom in, if that will help. I'm gonna see if I just hold it here, if I can zoom in and show you. The next one is Sheep Dreamery, and she posted these on Instagram before the retreat, and I just looked at them. I'm like, oh, that looks very cool. This is a tints and shades, and it's the Chemist. Now I'm not sure if it's the Chemist is the colorway or what exactly, but it's fabulous. It goes from a lighter pink to a bright red, and obviously it's a gradient. And it's fabulous. And Kelly was so funny because she gave one to Stephen West when she met up with him at the yarn store. I think it was on Sunday, and Stephen West Instagrammed that he really loved it, and she was so excited that Stephen West talked about her yarn. So I think that's absolutely fabulous that she can get her yarn out to those big names and get recognized, because this is amazing. I really look forward to knitting something up in this gradient, and I hope she comes out with new colorways that she's going to do like this, because that will be so much fun. Let's see what's next. Let's talk about this one, Cyborg's Craft Room, which is another one that I've never purchased from. I have purchased from Kelly before, from Sheep Dreamery. Cyborg Craft Room. No, I haven't gotten to that one. Alright, no, that one's in there. This one's Grinning Gargoyle. Sorry. Grinning Gargoyle, I haven't purchased from her before. And again, we're going with the gray. I don't know why I went with the gray, but I want to make, this is another one of those shrug things, or a very large shawl. I'm not sure yet. But I liked the gray because it's neutral. It will go with everything, but it's kind of a purpley gray, so it's really cool. And again, it's Grinning Gargoyle. This is her charcoal colorway, and it's the Seta sock, 50% silk, 50% wool, 430 yards in a skein. So I thought that this, with the silk, I thought it would make a nice drape, whatever it was that I decided to do with it, whether I did a shrug or if I did a shawl. Nice drape. So let's do Cyborg's Craft Room, since I mentioned that one already. Another one I have never purchased from before, Cyborg's Craft Room. This is the Unicorn Rainbow Glitter Fight, and it's got all the colors of the rainbow, which just makes me happy. I love it. It's fabulous. And it is on a 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, fingering weight, 436 yards. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Lots and lots of color, and of course, sparkle. Fabulous. And the last one, or the last vendor that I have in my bag, or the last yarn vendor I should say, is Daisy Knits. And again, another one I had never purchased from before, but very happy with my purchases. Daisy Knits, this is her Dewy Lace. And again, the lace, because like I said before, don't have much lace in my stash. 875 yards, 75% merino, 20% silk, 5% stellina. And this is the Thinking of Mel colorway. And it's kind of like it's a gray with a little bit of a purple overtone to it. I love it. And it just so happens that my travel friends, Julie and Sandy, both bought the same yarn. So we are going to have matching shawls. So that is going to be so fun to knit. And the next one that I bought from her was this one. I mean, how could I not buy this one? This is her hybrid base. It is 50% merino, 50% tencel, 384 yards, and it's in the smell like the roses colorway. Smell like the roses. Or smell the roses. It might help if I can speak properly. Smell the roses. And the last skein that I bought, also from Daisy Knits, and I probably wouldn't have bought this had she not pointed it out when my friend Sandy came back to the booth, because originally I was looking for lace weight for her and she wandered off and I ended up purchasing the lace weight. Jennifer mentioned this lace weight that she also had, which is a 70% alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere. Oh, and it's baby alpaca. I think that's right. It's either baby alpaca or baby cashmere. I'm not sure. I think it's probably baby alpaca. But she pointed this out, and oh my goodness, it is so soft and heavenly. It is 875 yards, and it is absolutely incredible. I love it. It's going to be a wonderful light lacy shawl. And this is the grassy colorway, and this is considered her catnip base. And I think that is an awesome name for her base. Catnip. So that's all the yarn that I bought. But I bought other stuff too. I bought some bags, and the first bag I bought was this bag, and I can't remember the name. This is Amy's mom made this bag. Something Shed or Shed something. Can't remember the name of her shop now. I'll have to look it up and post it in there. But I saw these cute little zombie bags other people had, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. I bought this in the afternoon, and by the time I got back there, the larger bags were sold out, but I decided to get the little mini Notions bag because it was so cute. And it has a green lining on it. And in this bag, I put some other purchases. I purchased some stitch markers from Absolute Wonder and some buttons from Absolute Wonder. Here are some stitch markers. She had a bowl of stitch markers that you could pick and choose, and they were, I think they were like $1 each or something like that. So I pulled these out. These were very cool, pink and green. And then she had these little charms. I think I bought, no, I just bought one of those. She had this little charm. This is just a little sweater charm, which I thought was very cute. I think this is similar to the charm that Steve got for being an honorary knitter at Knitopia. And then I bought these stitch markers, which are also pink and green. And again, this is from Absolute Wonder. And fabulous. I love different stitch markers. And then I also bought these buttons that she had. I think there's 7 or 8 buttons in there. They just looked fun. They just looked like fun to have. And then I also bought, this is from a different booth. And I think it was Be Lighted. Can't remember now. Oh wait, here, maybe I can look at it. Be Lighted, Fiber and Gifts. And I bought these little things. So we have this one, which is a nice big kind of button that you can use as a shawl pin. And then we have these little tiny ones that you can use as like a button, you know, if you want to like put buttons on your shawl. And then I bought this one, which is Jewel Designs. My friend Sandy had one like similar to this, and I've been looking at it, and I could never remember who she bought it from. She bought it at Stitches a couple of years ago. But there's that one, and it's Jewel Designs. So I needed some new shawl pins, so those are fabulous. And those are all bought at the Be Lighted booth. And then I bought some bags. Let's see if I can remember who I bought them from. This is Brown Dog Bags, and it is a nice zipper tote. It has red polka dot in the inside. Oops. Here, she's got a card in there. And it's a good size bag for socks or shawl. Nice size. I think this was her medium size bag. And yeah, I think this is her medium size bag. I don't think it's on the card. Fabulous. And I like the little handle on it as well. And I have another one from her in the bottom of the bag here that I'll show you also. I also bought this bag from Absolute Wonder. And it's pink and green, obviously. And it's got this really cute flower fabric on the inside. And it has pockets. It has, I think you could use it as a divided pocket. I don't think it's really meant to, but there's one side that has a fairly decent sized pocket. And the other side has a couple smaller pockets and a mid-sized pocket. But it's mostly just a regular bag. It's got a good sized bottom on it. But I think, like I said, I think that you could use this larger pocket to separate out your knitting, like for a pair of socks if you're doing a sock. 2 socks at a time, or 2, like I do mine, on 2 separate magic loop. And I bought this bag from Java Jenny. It's one of her snap bags. I've been wanting one of these bags for a while. And it's got the metal in the thing, so when it just snaps right closed. And she does have a snap on there, so it's not going to open if I don't want it to. But it is a really nice size bag, and definitely big enough for socks or a shawl or even sweater parts. And it's got a little handle on it, and I love it. But you don't like it, or you do like it? Okay, you do like it? You're crazy. So it's fabulous. And like I said, I've been wanting one of her snap bags for a while. And I love that size. And then I bought a bag from Mary Gale, who is Spartacus Dyes. And it's one of her little parachute bags. And I love this style. It's like, opens real wide at the top. And it's square on the bottom. And you have the handle or the string, and you just slide the bead down, and it's kind of a little misshaped because I kind of shoved it in my bag. I'll have to reshape it a little bit, but it's a really cute size bag, and it's really a nice size, again, for socks or shawl, you know. I know. Do I talk too much about knitting? Is that what the problem is? I know. It's crazy. And then this one is a Girl Cave Bags. It's awesome. It's got cats on it. I love Susan's bags. And it's another zipper bag. She's got a little zombie pull tag on here. And she always puts her little button on the bag. It's fabulous. I love this size. And it has cats on it. I think there was another one that also had cats on it. I think it was pink and blue with kittens playing with yarn. And I almost got that one. And then I thought, well, this one's a little bit out of my color confidence zone. And I liked the cats better on this one. They had a kind of more modern type design. So I got that one. And there's the inside. Fabulous bag. Like I needed more bags. Oh, be quiet. And here's the other bag that I got from Brown Dog Bags. This one is huge. I actually used it as my overnight suitcase when we went to, in fact, my socks are still in the bag, when we went to the hotel on Sunday night, because we left Minnesota and we drove to Chicago and stayed in a hotel in Chicago Sunday night because we did not want to drive all the way home on Sunday because we would have been exhausted. So I used this as my little overnight suitcase, put my clothes in there for the night, and my iPad or whatever else I was going to need. And it is a big bag. It is a big bag. This is her, I think she had medium, large, and sweater bag. I think this was considered her sweater bag. So it is a awesome, awesome size. And originally I wanted this bag, this fabric, in the medium bag, but they were all sold out when I got there. And I bought this bag in the afternoon. I saw it in the morning, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy this big of a bag. But when I went back in the afternoon and it was still there, I decided that I must have it. So I bought it. And I know, I'm almost done. And that is the end of my purchases. Like I said, it was a little over the top, but because I got to know these vendors and chat with them for quite a while on Thursday and Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, really, that I just wanted to buy stuff from them to support their businesses. So I went a little overboard. Needless to say, there will not be any yarn purchases anytime in the near future. And because I did not follow my diet the way that I should have been following it, I have gained back some of the weight that I have lost again. So I have more to lose before I can buy more yarn. And honestly, I think I probably need to just save up my rewards until the next time I go to an event, because this was a little crazy. Anyway, I think that's about all I've got for you today. I really, really enjoyed this retreat. And like I said, I hope everyone has the opportunity to, at some point, attend a knitting retreat, because you will absolutely love it. So thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you in a few weeks. Bye for now.
Hi Tina, happy Saturday.
Fast, Amy. I could drive up to the They can shop the first time. Yeah. Well, you're on my list. Good. I do leg up there, girl. But I love it. We should pretend like we're reaching. You took her pink zombies. Oh, that's great.
That is a wonderful picture.
Oh, that's a great picture.
It should be your new avatar.
Right now.
You
That it made it my
houseboy is watching my dog for me.
very strong.
He took my dog to gay pride today. I love it.
Welcome. Oh, thank you. Come on. Welcome. Thanks. Thank you. Welcome. Wait, line. She's high-fiving people. All right. Yeah. High five. Woo. Woo. You're doing it. You're rocking it. Woo. We're there. Money. Yarn. Bag. Fibers. Knitter's way. Great job. Good job, guys. Have fun. Beautiful stuff. Yes. You're doing it. Thanks for waiting. Welcome. Great job. You are going to be the best shopper there ever was. As many as we want. Great job. You should be able to fit. Go get your top. You're gonna get sweated out before there's an issue. It's warm. It's warm. That man's on a mission. There he is. He needs to get the Hello. You did such a great job. I love the
As always, thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Please feel free to contact me with your comments or suggestions, as I am always trying to improve the show. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and YouTube as Bloomingknitter. You can also find me on Plurk, Twitter, and Pinterest as Bloomingknitter, but I don't frequent those sites as often. I post show updates on Twitter and Facebook, and sometimes to Google Plus and Plurk. I am Miss Aerobics on MyFitnessPal and Fitbit. You can always find all the old episodes as well as links to the tutorials on the blog at www.knittingblooms.com. And you can also follow the show on Facebook. You can email me at knittingblooms@gmail.com, and show notes can be found at knittingblooms.com.